Agenda I. Culture name, the Warborn. Context. The deserts of Barsoom are vast, endless stretches of crimson sand where survival is the only law that matters. In this harsh world, the Warborn roam as nomads, warriors shaped by an unforgiving land. They trace their lineage back to the warlords of a long-forgotten age, believing that only through hardship and battle can one claim true strength. Unlike the great cities of Barsoom, where rulers hide behind walls and wealth, the Warborn reject comfort, seeing it as a slow death of the spirit. They move constantly, seeking battle, conquest, and the thrill of proving themselves. Their mounts, the massive Gorthan beasts, serve as both status symbols and war machines. Before combat, their warriors paint their bodies in the blood of past victories, a reminder of the cycle they live and die by. The Warborn live by the creed victory or oblivion. To die in battle is not an end but an honor, for they believe their spirits return as storms, sweeping across the desert, forever part of the world they fought for. Short bios. Kalos the Red-Handed, a warlord feared and respected across the sands, known for uniting rival clans under one banner. He teaches that battle is both a crucible and a gift, a way to carve one's legacy into the bones of the world. Nissa the Sandblade, a warrior whose name is whispered with both fear and admiration. She has never lost a duel, proving that skill can rival brute strength. Strategy is her weapon, and patience is her blade. Varric the Stormborn, a figure of legend, said to have ridden a sandstorm into battle, his war cry so powerful it shattered enemy ranks. His deeds are retold each year during the Festival of Blades.
Agenda 2. Laws and beliefs. Only the strong may rule. Leadership is claimed through combat, not inheritance. The unworthy are cast aside. A warrior must never retreat. To flee is to surrender one's soul to the void. Betrayal is punished by death. Loyalty to the Warborn is absolute, those who break it are hunted down without mercy. The weak are not discarded, but tested. Strength comes in many forms, and those who falter are given trials to prove themselves. Failure means exile. A weapon must taste blood. A blade that has never struck an enemy is a blade without purpose. Cultural values and morals. Battle is life. The clash of steel is not just a test of skill, but a way to prove one's existence. Peace leads to decay. Death is not an end. Those who fall in combat become part of the wind, their names carried through the ages. Strength and cunning are equals. A sharp mind is as important as a sharp sword. Victory is all that matters.
The clan comes before the self. Individual desires mean nothing compared to the survival of the Warborn. Glory is the highest honor. To leave behind a nameless death is the greatest failure of all. Traditions and rituals. A warrior must earn their blade. No one is given a weapon, they must take it from a fallen foe. Before battle, warriors anoint themselves in blood. It is believed to grant them the strength of those who came before. The dead are not buried. Their bodies are to the winds, returning them to the sands of Barsoom. Stories of past battles are sacred. To forget history is to dishonor it. Each night, warriors gather to share the victories and defeats of those who came before them. The Festival of Blades is held once a year. Warriors challenge each other in combat, proving who is strongest among them. Agenda 3. Outcasts and taboos. The Nightborn, a hidden faction within the Warborn, shunned for rejecting open combat. They believe true strength lies not in brute force, but in striking from the shadows. Assassins, spies, and deceivers, they are feared by many but understood by few. Unforgivable crimes. Refusing a duel is an act of cowardice. There is no excuse, if challenged, one must fight. A dull weapon is a disgrace. A rusted or neglected blade is a sign of weakness. Speaking ill of the dead is forbidden. Even the fallen must be honored, no matter their past mistakes. Hiding from battle is worse than death. To avoid combat is to reject one's purpose. Agenda 4. The trial of storms, a rite of passage. At 15, every child of the Warborn must prove themselves. 1. Separation, they are sent into the desert alone, given nothing but a dagger. For 7 days, they must survive on their own. 2. Transition, to return, they must bring proof of their strength, a slain beast, a weapon taken from an enemy, or an artifact of the old world. 3. Reincorporation, if they return victorious, they are given their first true weapon and marked with red sand, symbolizing their rebirth as warriors. 4. Status change, from this moment forward, they are no longer children but fighters, expected to stand and bleed for their people. Agenda 6. Type of descent, patrilineal. The Warborn trace their lineage through the father's bloodline. Strength is inherited, and a warrior's name carries weight across generations. A child's worth is determined by the legacy of their forefathers, and leadership is passed to those who prove themselves worthy of their ancestral honor. Agenda 7. 1. Marriage spouse practices, exogamy. Warriors are encouraged to seek partners outside their direct clan to strengthen alliances and diversify bloodlines. Marriage between two strong warriors ensures the continuation of battle-ready offspring. 2. Type of marriage structuring, polygyny. Warlords and proven warriors may take multiple wives, as a sign of their strength and ability to provide. However, every marriage must be earned, no woman is forced, and each union is a matter of status and choice. Agenda 8. 1. Marriage and economic exchange, bride wealth. A warrior must prove their worth by offering spoils of battle or trophies of conquest to the bride's family. Bride service. In some cases, a warrior may fight under his prospective father-in-law's banner to prove himself worthy. 2. Marriage practices, divorce, accepted but rare. If a marriage fails, both parties must stand before the clan and justify their separation. If dishonor is found, combat may settle disputes. Premarital sex, not frowned upon. Strength and passion are seen as intertwined, and warriors must prove themselves in all aspects of life. Same-sex marriages, rare, but not forbidden. Love is secondary to strength, and as long as a warrior upholds the Warborn way, their choice of partner is their own. Arranged or love marriages. Both exist, but arranged marriages are often a strategic necessity to strengthen alliances between clans. 3. Families, extended families. The Warborn live in clan-based units where multiple generations support each other. Elders, while not leaders, serve as advisors and keepers of history.
Agenda 9. Orgasm equity policy. The Warborn believe in shared pleasure as a form of strength. A warrior who neglects their partner's needs in battle or in intimacy is considered weak. As such, it is expected that both men and women are skilled in ensuring mutual satisfaction. Elders teach both sexes the importance of balance, and failure to satisfy one's partner may lead to mockery or challenge. Contraceptives, not readily available. The Warborn see fertility as a natural force, and children born of warriors are welcomed as the next generation of strength. If a child is conceived, it is considered fate, and the parents are expected to raise them in honor. However, women have autonomy over their bodies and may use traditional herbal methods if they choose.
Male birth control, not available, nor would it be widely accepted. The Warborn believe that a man's seed is tied to his legacy, and controlling it unnaturally is seen as weakening one's lineage. Instead, the focus is placed on warrior discipline, choosing partners wisely and taking responsibility for one's offspring.
Agenda X, Fictive Religion of the Warborn. Name of fictive religion, the Path of the Storms. Polytheism. The Warborn believe in a pantheon of deities, each representing different aspects of strength, battle, and the desert. Each god is a personification of elements like wind, sand, and storm, with a focus on warriors' virtues such as honor, might, and courage.
Creation story. Long ago, the world of Barsoom was barren and empty. The first storm arose from the heart of the desert, and from its fury, the gods were born. The gods shaped the land with their battles, each god forging a different part of the world. The land was made by the struggle of their storms, mountains rose where they clashed, and deserts spread where their winds howled. Humans were born from the sands, their blood and flesh mixed with the storm's fury, destined to fight and prove their strength. Afterlife, heaven and hell. The Warborn believe in an afterlife where the spirits of warriors who die in battle are transformed into storms, sweeping across the desert eternally. These warriors are honored by the living, their names whispered with reverence as their winds roar across the land. Those who die in dishonor or retreat into weakness are lost to the void, wandering forever as lost souls, unable to find peace. Salvation, how do you obtain it? Salvation is attained by proving oneself in battle. Only those who die with their sword in hand, having fought honorably, are worthy of joining the winds. Warriors who falter, retreat, or show cowardice are condemned to wander the void in eternal shame. To live in glory and die in combat ensures one's place in the afterlife. Act of devotion. Offerings. Warriors offer their slain foes' weapons as tribute to the gods, leaving them at sacred war sites or in the windswept dunes. Prayer. Prayer is a rare, private affair. It is said that warriors whisper their battle cries to the winds, offering their strength to the gods before combat. Meditation. Before battle, warriors meditate to focus their mind and prepare for the storm of battle that will come. This practice is central to the spiritual life of the Warborn. Deity/deities. The Warborn worship a pantheon of gods who represent different aspects of battle and the natural world. Rahoa, the Storm Lord, god of battle, wind, and strength.
Sivra, the Bloodwind, goddess of courage, sacrifice, and death in combat.
Kora, the Warden of the Sands, goddess of survival, cunning, and the desert's harshness.
Vorak, the Stormborn, a warrior deity revered for his legendary power, believed to be the physical embodiment of the Warborn strength. Practitioners. Storm priests. The Warborn have storm priests, warriors who combine their martial prowess with spiritual leadership. These priests offer guidance on battle tactics, rituals, and spiritual rites. Warshamans, mystics who commune with the winds and speak to the spirits of fallen warriors. They interpret the will of the gods and provide blessings before battle. Human suffering. Suffering is seen as the test of strength. The Warborn believe that suffering in battle, pain from wounds, and hardship are gifts from the gods to forge a stronger spirit. Those who cannot endure their suffering are seen as weak, while those who rise above it are honored. Evil spirits are seen as manifestations of fear and weakness, only those who fear the void are subject to their influence. To live in fear is to invite suffering, and only through strength can one escape it. Agenda 11, Mode of Production. Mode of production, pastoralism. The Warborn primarily rely on a pastoralist mode of production, focusing on herding and caring for their Gorthan beasts. These massive creatures are their primary source of transportation, status, and occasionally, sustenance. The Warborn also raise smaller creatures that can provide milk and hides. They do not engage in large-scale farming or agriculture but instead move in nomadic herds, depending on their beasts for both survival and strength. Agenda 12, Exchange System. Exchange System, Reciprocity, Generalized. The Warborn engage in a system of generalized reciprocity. Warriors do not exchange goods through markets but instead share resources and spoils of battle within their clan and among allies. It is understood that strength and contributions are returned in time, not through direct trade, but through loyalty and support in future battles. This system strengthens bonds and ensures that each warrior and clan member is cared for in times of need. Agenda 13, Internal Differentiation. Poverty. Poverty in warborn society is rare, as survival in the desert depends on strength and ability. Those who cannot keep up with the demands of battle or survival are given opportunities to prove themselves. However, failure often leads to exile, where individuals may be left to fend for themselves in the wilderness, which can be seen as a form of poverty. Division of labor. There is a clear division of labor in warborn society. Age: children undergo the trial of storms at the age of 15, after which they are considered warriors. Elderly members serve as advisors, historians, and spiritual guides but no longer participate in battle. Gender: while combat is traditionally male-dominated, female warriors, such as Nissa the Sandblade, have proven themselves in battle and are revered. However, gender roles are still respected, with women typically playing roles related to family and resource management, although some do serve as warriors.
Ability. Warriors are expected to fight regardless of background, but physical strength, mental acuity, and combat prowess are the most respected abilities. Those who are unable to fight are relegated to supporting roles or exiled. Agenda 14. Internal/external relations. A. Will there be different races? Yes. Though the Warborn are unified by culture rather than race, individuals of varying skin tones and features exist within the clans. Due to their nomadic nature and history of conquest, the Warborn have absorbed people from many backgrounds into their ranks. B. How will your culture handle racism? Racism is non-existent among the Warborn. Strength, honor, and the ability to survive are the only traits that matter. Prejudice based on race is seen as weakness, a distraction from the true measure of a warrior. Anyone who displays racial bias is mocked or challenged in combat.
C. Open to immigration. Yes, but conditionally. Outsiders may join the Warborn, but they must earn their place. Stipulations. Immigrants must prove themselves in combat or survival to be accepted. Must renounce all prior allegiances and swear loyalty to the Warborn. Criminals are not outright barred, but they must undergo the trial of storms to prove redemption. Must be at least 15 years old, the age at which warriors are tested. Immigrants are placed into a probationary tier and may only rise through demonstrated loyalty and valor. Strict or fluid borders. Fluid borders. Due to their nomadic lifestyle, the Warborn do not maintain traditional borders. Instead, territory is marked by movement and presence, not static lines. However, their territory is fiercely protected, trespassers are warned once, and if they do not leave or submit, they are met with force. How will your culture handle threats from other countries and civil disorder? A. Will you have a military? Yes, but it is not a separate entity. Every adult Warborn is a warrior. The entire society is a mobile fighting force. In times of external threat, clans unite under a war chief, chosen through ritual combat between the strongest leaders. B. Will you have police? No formal police force exists. Justice is handled by clan elders and warlords. Disputes are typically settled through ritual duels, and minor offenses are corrected through public shaming or challenge. C. Will you have prisons? No. The Warborn believe in swift justice. Punishments include exile for cowards or repeat offenders, combat trials for disputes, execution for treachery or betrayal. Holding someone captive is seen as wasteful, either they are redeemable through battle, or they are unworthy of life among the Warborn. Agenda 15. Stratification chart. Here is a stratified social chart representing the hierarchy of the Warborn society. Ranks and roles. Stormborn warlords, legendary leaders who have united clans or achieved immortal glory. Clan war chiefs, heads of clans, proven in combat and ritual. Leadership is not inherited. Veteran warriors, respected fighters with many victories and trials behind them. Warriors, core members of the Warborn, anyone who passed the trial of storms. Storm priests and warshamans, spiritual leaders who guide the Warborn through rituals and beliefs. Initiates, those undergoing their trial of storms or immigrants proving their worth. Craftsmen and beast keepers, support roles, raise mounts, forge weapons, care for the wounded. Exiles and outcasts, those who failed trials or committed dishonor. Banished from society. Agenda 16, Political Organization. Tribes. The Warborn exhibit characteristics most closely aligned with a tribal political organization. Decentralized power. Unlike chiefdoms or states with centralized authority, the Warborn do not have a single, permanent ruler. Power is distributed among the clan war chiefs, each holding authority over their respective kin groups. While Kalos the Red-Handed achieved temporary unification, this was through personal prowess and alliance building, not a formal, inherited political structure. Kin-based organization. The fundamental unit of Warborn society is the clan, based on patrilineal descent. Loyalty to the clan is paramount, and social organization revolves around these kinship ties. This is a defining feature of tribal societies. Lack of formal government. There is no distinct governmental apparatus, such as a standing army separate from the general populace, formal legal codes beyond the core beliefs, or established bureaucratic roles. Governance arises from the consensus and authority of elders and the strength of warlords. Justice is administered through social pressure, public shaming, ritualized conflict, duels, combat trials, and the decisive actions of leaders. Fluid leadership. Leadership roles, even that of a clan war chief, are not permanently fixed by lineage. They are earned through demonstrated strength and the ability to command respect, often solidified through ritual combat. This aligns with the more fluid and achievement-based leadership found in tribal structures. Mobile and adaptive. The nomadic pastoralist mode of production necessitates a flexible social and political structure. Tribes are often more adaptable to environmental changes and external pressures than more centralized systems. The Warborn's ability to unite under a temporary war chief in times of threat showcases this adaptive capacity within a tribal framework. While powerful individuals like Stormborn warlords can exert significant influence, their authority is often based on charisma and past deeds rather than a formal political office. The core social and political organization remains rooted in the autonomous, kin-based clans, characteristic of a tribal society. Agenda 17, Art of the Warborn. Art form, Oathscar tattoos. Among the Warborn, the body is the canvas. Oathscar tattoos are sacred marks carved and burned into the flesh to record great deeds, vows, and tribal loyalty. Creation process. Tattooing is done using sharpened bone needles dipped in ash mixed with blood. Each mark is layered with pain and symbolism. The deeper the scar, the greater the honor. Certain designs are reserved only for warriors who have survived specific trials, like surviving a sandstorm alone or slaying a Gorthan beast. Symbolism. Spiral lines, journey across the desert, spiritual or physical. Claw marks, victories over beasts or enemies. Eye of the storm, wisdom gained through suffering. Broken sun, personal loss and endurance beyond it. Reflection of the culture. The Warborn believe that strength is proven by survival and sacrifice. Their tattoos are not decorative, they are living records of suffering, loyalty, and conquest. To wear an unearned mark is a crime punishable by exile or death. Thus, their art is not just beauty, it is history written in pain and pride. Final thoughts. The Warborn of Barsoom do not seek peace, nor do they crave safety. They are forged in battle, bound by honor, and remembered through legend. To them, life is war, and only those willing to fight are worthy of their name. The Warborn remain bound by honor, forged in combat, and guided by the laws of the desert. Their culture thrives in hardship, proving that only the strong may endure.